Hello and welcome back to the CUPRA SimRacing Series as we return for a second, much longer 13-round season in the brand new CUPRA Leon Competition. 2019 was an incredible season, seeing Dorneden crowned champion at the final round of Macau. He isn't here though to defend that crown, so we'll have a brand new champion, and who will be taking that championship in 13 rounds time. As it was in 2019, myself, Lewis McGlade, alongside me, Robert Wiesenmüller, and we come to the track which opened it all, obviously a very long time ago. It is great to be back.
Hello everyone, hello Lewis. Yes indeed, CUPRA SimRacing Series is back after the VIP race that we had last week. We saw some spectacular races at Spa. Now we're ready for the main season and of course, got a long calendar ahead of us. Here we can see it. Nürburgring first with a sprint race, actually 2 sprint races. So 2 times 25 minutes, lots of action. Then a 3-week break before we go to Imola for the first long race, 60 minutes with a pit stop. There you can see the remaining rounds. Some true classics on the calendar, like Hockenheim, of course, Spa-Francorchamps and Macau. Also some new circuits, for example, the Red Bull Ring or Dubai Autodrome. Should be really interesting, but we start off at the Nürburgring.
Yeah, the Nürburgring, the track which saw David Noj take pole position last time we were here, rather, the opening point of the season. Quite a surprise qualifier to get pole position. Didn't win the race, though. Made a mistake down into turn 1. And it's very, very easy to make that mistake. Bence Banki was the one to come out on top of that one. And David Noj would win the second race in quite a thrilling drive up the grid. It was excellent stuff. I've got to say, though, I am looking forward to the whole season. Of course, those endurance races. I was skeptical last year about those endurance races, but my goodness me, when we got them going, they were great. They were as good as the sprint races. It is so much fun, this championship, and it is just great to be back.
Yes, indeed. I think the endurance races were even a bit better last year, especially the one at Spa, where we saw a race-long battle for the victory. Here's the point system, and some more points on offer this time, because also on the leaderboard you can get points. Leaderboard competition, of course, you can join it yourself, game.raceroom.com, and select a CUPRA competition, or just start your RaceRoom and try it out. Points for the top 50 in the leaderboard already, so we've got a championship leader, which is Jack Keithley. Then points in qualifying, 2 qualifying sessions today, and then in the sprint race, 100 points for the winner of the respective race.
Yeah, points for basically everything here in the CUPRA SimRacing Series, which means the champion will be crowned through consistency across all sessions, and they need to take advantage of everything that's put in front of them. That is your current championship standing. So it is Jack Keithley for Williams Esports topping the session, of course, from the pre-qualifier, and as I say, a point difference for the top 50, so down to 49, 48, and so on. Bence Banki right up there for Red Bull Racing Esports, could be very, very strong here. We said that he was victorious here last season. Moritz Lerner as well, Williams Esports right at the top end. There's a few chops and changes from the previous season, the likes of Adam Pinches, who joined AAA Esports, and there's a few new names on the grid. Curious to see Kirill Antonov right up there in 5th position, Rob.
Yes, indeed, he was looking very, very fast in practice. As we come to the end of the practice session by now. And Juan Manuel Gomez was the fastest in the practice. He's already in the pit, so we can see the car of Emre Cihan here. And maybe let's take a look at who's racing today. 24 cars on the entry list, 22 on the server right now. Frigoto out with internet problems, and we're still missing Thorsten Ulrich, the winner of the VIP event. But there you can see Jack Keithley in the car with the number 1 because Dorneden is not returning. Banki, as last season, in a grey and bronze car. Lerner in the car that you can all drive on the leaderboard as we get ready for the qualifying session. And I have to say, what an international grid. Drivers from Indonesia, drivers from Brazil, from Argentina, from Russia, from Turkey, all in server 1.
Yeah, and Dika Roman Molana in the off-season between the seasons here of the CUPRA SimRacing Series. Of course, he's done stuff in WTCR and that kind of such. In RaceRoom has taken on various other things across sim racing and sort of spread his talents out, and I think from that has learnt a lot from his time running around in sim racing. Nevertheless, though, we have got a 15-minute qualifying session then. This is Jack Keithley, but directly behind him, Kirill Antonov. These two already gap the field, which is actually very good for them because Kirill Antonov can back off a little bit from Jack Keithley, still pick up the slipstream and not worry about dropping into the pack behind. Normally, we see the entire pack all battling here, but nevertheless, not quite what's going on right now.
Yes, indeed. So maybe they've learned from it, from other series or from last season, where there were many accidents on the outlap already. Jack Keithley, you can see him on the screen, only P7 last season, which was a disappointment. He's got a qualifying ban for Macau even. So it was not the best season, but he's won Porsche Community Legends, he's won AVD Masters, he's won the Avia competition. So he's very, very successful on RaceRoom, the driver with the most wins overall, and you shouldn't count him out. Our championship leader at the moment.
Yeah, of course, he's been a part of a lot of teams towards the top end of sim racing, be it Precision back in the day, and then of course ACR Zaxpeed, and really has found a home in Williams Esports since joining them. I think it was towards the back end of 2018, maybe the start of 2019. I think it was late 2018 that he joined Williams Esports, and of course Moritz Lerner, his teammate. Those lot have worked directly. I think they get along very well. I don't really know too much of the ins and outs of Williams Esports. Is a driver that's departed that outfit, Adam Pinches, joining AAA, the likes of Erhan Yovsky and not Risto Cap anymore because he's gone, isn't he? But nevertheless, Adam Pinches joining AAA, a very, very big team across sim racing at the moment. They're very much spreading their wings. Still a bit new to RaceRoom, but it's good to see AAA picking up one of the top drivers in RaceRoom, being Adam Pinches.
Yeah, Pinches has been coming on very strong this year. Very far at the front at the WTCR Championship, where he also drove a CUPRA, the old model though. This is the new one, the CUPRA Leon Competition, and he's one of 3 camera cars in the race. Zoltan Suti and Leandro Werle being the other ones.
Well, first session then, and the first laps of the season, as the sun is very much on the eye line as we come through T1 and then into the arena section. And we are on board with Jack Keithley, who was the top qualifier coming into this, a very, very strong driver himself, leaving the arena section. We're going to see some overtakes in here for sure, and of course we saw a bit of some controversial moves here last year on the exit there, as people were rubbing and racing on the exit, and we run down towards Valvoline. I don't really like this corner as an overtaking opportunity because it's a lot quicker than it looks, but then you come downhill, there's definitely going to be the odd dive into here, and then the run towards the hairpin rob. I think this is where we're going to see quite a lot of the moves.
Yes, indeed. And maybe you remember from last year the fight Shepard versus Stulic here on this track. It can get very feisty out here at the Nürburgring.
Yeah, you can go and check out highlights from the previous season of the CUPRA SimRacing Series. Pretty sure they're just on our YouTube channel, so go over there and click the subscribe through the Schumacher S, right up and over the curbs on either side of it. Curious to see that he didn't leave it using the entire track on the left-hand side, using everything we can on the right-hand side, though, heading into Michelin and then down towards Varstina. Of course, this corner is so crucial for this run, down towards Ad Van Bogen and up towards the very tight NGK chicane. We're under the tight version of it, the tighter variant, not fast and over. Curious that I think that's Moritz Lerner, who's directly behind this, has caught up quite a bit over his run. I wonder how quick his lap time's going to be. Obviously, we'll find out when they cross the line. Once we finish with the 11-minute session, we'll move straight into the first race of the season, being a sprint race. One more corner for Jack Keithley to traverse to see what kind of time he will do. What is he going to be putting on the board? Out of it and onto the rumble strip on the exit and up and over the line, and it is going to be a 2-minute 5.4 to open the session. Kirill Antonov instantly beats it with a 2-minute 5.2. Florian Haasler on a 0. Oh my goodness me, yeah, Moritz Lerner did go quicker, expectedly so. Martin Barner towards the line, he goes to 7th position, still well within a second of the top lot. So pretty tight at the top end. Adam Pinches, though, look at this, Rob, going very, very quickly. 12th position at the moment. Of course, he's not set a time yet, though, so don't panic on that. Crosses the line. Only 8th. Terrible final sector. Goodness me, Adam. Pick it up.
And I think this was the slipstream effect as well that promoted Kirill Antonov here into the provisional pole position, but we've been expecting it after his pre-qualifying performance, after his performance in the WTCR League, and also after the practice performance, that he might be someone that we can not count out. And it's a surprising front row at the moment, because Gianmarco Fiducci is in 2nd position.
That is a quality lap time from Fiducci. I didn't even really realise that. Getting ahead of the Williams Esports driver Moritz Lerner, and he'll be setting another time in the slipstream there. Not sure which one that is directly ahead of him. I think it might be Florian Haasler, who he is directly behind. nice driver to be picking up some slipstream here from Brazil. Leandro Verla. Is his brother on the twin on the session? I don't think he is he?
I think he is.
Oh, he is?
Lucas is currently in P18, hasn't set a lap time yet. Maybe he was running through the background there of the shot because they're racing from the same place. Leandro, we have him on the screen, driving from Brazil for the Snow Shuttle team. Currently in P5, and the Snow Shuttle team was so strong in practice here. Gomez was the fastest overall. Leandro Verla there with a good old G27, trying to go for some top lap times.
Yeah, really showing what I should be doing. I've got G27 as well. I'm not very good on
Me
it.
too.
Oh yeah, I forgot you did as well. So we'll bring that hype along. Yeah, Juan Manuel Gomez though, only in 7th position at the moment, 2/10 though, off of the pole. You said to top in the practice session, getting ready to start another lap. Careful not to balk the car in the background. It is great to see, like you said, how global this has become. It's not just the Europeans taking part. Like you say, we've got Argentinians, we've got Brazilians, of course Indonesians and stuff. It is incredible to see. There is the Indonesian himself, Andika Rama Maulana, currently in 18th position at the moment, setting a lap time at present. I do like that red, by the way. Some of the wheels that it comes with. Love it.
It's Bunky though, currently on a purple sector in the first sector, so let's stay on board with him. We've got another red car from Chian, red and black, that looks also very, very good on the stream. We'll go to that after Bunky's lap, because that might be a contender for the pole position here. Chian actually himself is also purple. Let's just check with Chian where he is on track. A bit behind Bunky.
Yeah. Good looking car. Lovely model as well. With Banky, I think last season he was a privateer. He was looking for a team, and was looking for a team for quite a while. Eventually found his place sat in Red Bull Racing Esports of all places, which is a quality team to be a part of, losing a fair amount of time through the middle sector. Of course, no slipstream for Benz Banky, like what Kirill Antonov had, like what Moritz Lerner had, and Fiducci. No slipstream, so he's going to have to do all of the hard work himself. Of course, was on the pole position here last year. Comes out the final corner, and he has a 2:05.266 to beat. Is he going to do it? No, he is not. Only 5th place, but still within a 10th of a second of pole. Emery Chihan, what can he do out of the final corner? Goes to 6th himself, so within a 10th. Height margins at the top, Rob.
And margins indeed, and look at this first sector from Fiducci. Crazy first sector, but he was blocked there in the hairpin, so probably lost some time. Let's check with Lerner because he's closer to the finish line.
We were talking about it before. It's a low 5, which is what is expected to be the pole time. If it's a 4, like, that's pretty much it. Might as well pack up and go home. And that almost seems exactly what Moritz Lerner is trying to do here for Williams Esports. He'd have to improve a little bit more. Oh, he escaped.
That's
obviously
a surprise.
lost some time there in the final sector, and he already saw it in his Delta and decided to pull out of it. 7 cars, Rob, within a 10th of a second.
Yes, and that for the pole position, not somewhere in the field, but right at the top. Fiducci still purple after the second sector, but he ran wide in the chicane as well. Was not perfect. The Italian, though, looking very strong.
Got a little touch of slipstream from the car ahead. Going to come out of the final corner. Is he going to improve? He dropped to 3rd, but doesn't improve on his time. Adam Pinches. Adam Pinches, just ahead of Fiducci. Goes up onto pole, a 2:05.1. That is the final sector I was expecting from you. Good lad. And onto provisional pole for AAA Esports.
Yeah, and only 5 minutes to go, so that could maybe stay. What a lap from Adam here.
Christopher Hogfeld not setting a time as of present. I think we've got 23 drivers here today, Rob. Is that correct? And
we've got 22 at the moment.
22.
Still missing Frigoto, who's out with the connection problems. There's been a power cut in his town, and nothing he can do, of course. So he's cheering on his teammates. And we're still missing Thorsten Ulrich. And I think it's looking a bit. It's not looking so good because only 4 minutes left in the qualifying session. Not so much time for him to join.
Which is a real shame because, like you say, he did so well in the VIP race. For those of you who haven't watched it, highlights are available, and it was some quality racing at the top end. I won't spoil it for you, don't worry. as to the race results, but definitely one to go and check out. Zoltan Schuti for Mirror Esports, one of the many Hungarians in sim racing, one of the many a part of the Mirror Esports team. Of course, Norbert Michelitz's team taking part here. They did very well last season. Of course, like I said, pole position and a race victory here in race 2 for David Nosh for that team. Drops out there to so he's on outlap, so just backing out of other people's way. The 0-9, that's Tim Yarshall directly ahead. Maybe he's going to try and pick up a bit of slipstream on his final lap of the session, because like we say, same as always in RaceRoom, as soon as the timer ticks down to 0, that is the session done. My goodness me, 8,072 drivers competed to qualify for this race, and we have the top, at the moment, top 22 taking part in the first round of the CUPRA SimRacing Series' second season. That is a big number, Rob.
Yes, that was really a big surprise. That's a bit higher than usual. So, of course, a new car, you can drive it at the moment exclusively in the competition, but I'm pretty sure it will go to the store pretty soon. And, yeah, a lot of drivers were trying it. The best 24 qualified, 22 on the server at the moment, and Zoltan Schuti at the moment on P12. So, of course, right in the middle here, but shouldn't be too sad, because he's got basically 8,000 people behind him.
Yeah, exactly. You can be last in the session. It's still horrible though, despite you basically being, you know, only a few tops off of an 8,000 person grid, effectively. Nevertheless, that's not quite how it works. So being last in this session is still pretty heartbreaking. All within a second though, and Ben Spanky up to second place, quality time. Not within a tenth of Adam Pinches though.
Pinches shut off his camera. I think he fears that he might get a disconnect. You know, he's he's on pole position now. It would be his first pole position on RaceRoom, of course, and yeah, still sitting in the pit lane. Does not have the camera feed from him anymore. I don't think he wants to risk anything right now.
Yeah.
Understandable, of course. And Fiduci is purple again.
And he's got slipstream as well. So yeah, maybe a double car slipstream as well. Say Tim Yarshall ahead of this, Zoltan Schuti, and then Gianmarco Fiduci. I remember when I brought it up earlier on the broadcast. I think Bo Dixon just got 13th place there. I don't know if you remember it, Rob, but back in Virtual Super Tourers, back in the day, when I had that pole at Alton Park, I said that quite early in the session. I had to leave the room. If I had a camera, I would have turned it off for sure. I had to leave the room. I was like, I can't be in the room. So I'm assuming that's where Pinches is at the moment. He's gone, nope. See you, lads. I'll be back when the race starts, all right? See if it's another purple. Ooh.
Oh, it is.
Big threat here for Adam Pinches's pole position. Coming through the second sector, it is looking good for Gianmarco Fiduci. Wonder how good it's looking for Tim Yarshall ahead of this. Tim Yarshall's going to be the first towards the line. Any improvement from him as he crosses it? Let's have a wait and see. No, I don't think so. Fiduci goes to pole though. Fantastic lap time, 2:05.034. Goodbye to the pole for Adam Pinches and Gianmarco Fiduci. What a lap time, Rob. Not a 2:04, but nevertheless a 2:05.034 is about as close as you need to get. 45 seconds left in the session. Slaven Stulic looking to improve on a 16th place. He was battling to get into the top 10. I think he finished 11th last time after someone battled their way back into the top 10 reverse grid, because I remember he and like you said, Chris Shepherd were basically taking chunks out of each other last year here. Chris Shepherd's not here though, so maybe it's going to be a good round for Slaven Stulic.
Yeah, he's a teammate, Absolute Motorsport Racing team, teammate of Gianmarco Fiduci, and it will be the first pole position for the Italian Gianmarco Fiduci. Congratulations, and what a surprising front row. Fiduci and Pinches, who would have expected that? Bunky on the second row alongside Antonov, then Lerner. Keithley Stulis just moved up a position. Leandro Verle, Florian Hasse, David Notch, and Emre Cihan rounding out the top 10 here for the first race of the season of the CUPRA SimRacing Series. Yarshall outside of the top 10, that's a surprise.
Yeah, that is quite a surprise. Either way though, we'll be getting ready for the first race of the season. Well, welcome back then. We are about ready to go then for the first race of the season, a 13-round brand new season for the CUPRA SimRacing Series. We're here at the Nürburgring, the full GP layout in the brand new CUPRA Leon Competition. It is Gianmarco Fiduci on the pole position on that run down towards turn one for the first time. This is where David Noj made such a critical mistake at the start of last season. Completely missed it. It is a good launch though from Fiduci, and he's going to have the whole shot coming down towards the hairpin for the very first time. He's going to have to defend a little bit from Adam Pinches, who's not really had the best launch off into the mid-pack though. It is Fiduci leading. Pinches, Antonov going to try and stick it around the outside, picking up a little bit of contact from Jack Keithley on the inside of the corner as they head up towards the arena section. I think it's Jack Keithley who's trying to muscle his way through. We've got some side-by-side here between the two Germans, of Moritz Lerner and Florian Haase, as they're going to muscle their way around. Oh, nearly a little bit of contact between Jack Keithley as well, as Moritz Lerner is just going to push Florian Haase off there. My goodness me, that was tight. Verla as well, trying to force his way up the order. They're all going to go line astern now, and it's Fiduci leading. Pinches, Antonov, Keithley, Lerner, Haase, Verla. Oh, look at this battle pack in the middle as trying to get his way up the top 10 order. Andika Rama Maulana getting a little bit muscled out here as Emery Chihan and the light push him off wide from the inside, heading through the forward curve. Oh, a little bit of rubbing. There you go, single file though. Anyone going to dive into the Dunlop hairpin for the first time? Pinches was nearly close enough to the Italian of Fiduci. There is some contact in the background though. My goodness, that was Andika Ramamolana trying to get by Zoltan Suti just ahead of this. Suti in the blue car, and Andika Ramamolana in the red one, only side by side through the Schumacher S. Oh, it is super tight between this lot.
Oh, we've got a small issue here with the connection.
Wow. Well, we'll see how that one plays out. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Nevertheless, though, what a start it was from Gianmarco Fiduci. Adam Pinches did everything he could to try and take advantage of that, but unfortunately was not able to, and a little bit of bumping and barging. Near contact between the teammates of Moritz Lerner and Jack Keithley coming through the exit of the arena section. It was tight stuff, and then of course we had the battle there between Andika Rama Maulana and Zoltan Suti. A little bit of bumping and barge, as you'd expect in the mid pack. I did bring up earlier in the broadcast how we saw some fights between the likes of Chris Shepherd and Slaven Stulic a year ago for the top 10 place. Of course, much more important last season because there was a top 10 reverse grid. We're back in the picture, and it is Adam Pinches. Oh, Kirill Antonov. My goodness, what has happened here? Kirill Antonov there dropping back. Fiduci moves back up into second position. We are back in the game, ladies and gentlemen. And Adam Pinches is at the head of the field, going side by side in the background. Jack Keithley. Oh, Keithley going down the inside of Antonov. There's going to be a little bit of a touch and a brush between them. Antonov says no thank you to that one. A little bit of a cutback attempt from Keithley, but it's going to be outside for Valvoline. Rob, this is madness.
Yeah, sorry for missing there the end of the lap. But we got back in very quickly, luckily. And we missed, unfortunately, how Fiduci lost the lead. So it is Adam Pinches now who's leading the race, followed by Fiduci and then Antonov. So still, what is surprising, top 3 at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. Antonov done a good job there to work his way up a few positions, and now got the double Williams duo behind of Keithley and Lerner. Going to try and do whatever they can. A little bit of a gap has formed. I think if Fiduci is smart here, he's going to try and work a little bit with Pinches and see if they can build this gap any further. It's going to be a tall order regardless, as Kirill Antonov is also going to have the slipstream, and he's probably going to get fought a little bit from Jack Keithley, unless Keithley has the same opinion. The top 10 order then: Pinches, Fiduci, Antonov, Keithley and Lerner the top 5. Then Haase, Verla, Noj up to 8th position. Zoltan Suti and Andika Rama Maulana just inside the top 10. See if Noj can work his way up the order in a track that he has won at in this championship before. Maybe a bit of a disappointing qualifying session for him, but the race is where the big points are scored. Of course, 20 points to the pole sitter of Fiduci from the previous session. Here we go then. Oh, but a side-by-side in the background. That was Suti and Andika Rama Maulana. A little bit of a defence move from Kirill Antonov into the hairpin one more time. 2 laps down in the season, Rob, and they are not pulling any punches here.
Well, Keithley is the next one to attack. He's right behind Antonov. He gets the inside line to the hairpin.
Heavy on the brakes, dive bomb. I think Moritz Lerner was trying to follow his way through, trying to go for a cutback was Kirill Antonov. Jack Keithley gains the podium position. Moritz Lerner was trying to find his way through and maybe follow his teammate. He might try a cheeky lunge in the central part of the arena, but decides not, backs out of it. Maybe going to try and stick it all the way around the outside. Is Jack Keithley going to try and back Antonov up? No, he doesn't. Antonov is going to stay in 4th position then. Oh, running very far wide. Got to be careful of that. And Jack Keithley is going to be in 3rd. So now Keithley can set his sights on a potential opening victory of the season. We did speak in previous stuff. Oh, diving down the inside. That was close. Maybe this could have been the year of Keithley and then had some struggle in the ADAC GT Masters Esports qualifier. Nevertheless, did eventually get through onto the grid, but it took him a good few attempts. Who's that dropping off in the background? Who is that dropping off? Is that going... Oh, no. Leandro Verla. I thought he was going a lap down or something. I don't know if there's been an issue of some description or maybe a slowdown that's caused him to pull off the road. Now drops down to the top 10. I think it was just a slowdown, Rob.
That was a very strange move there from him.
I don't know how to explain that, Rob. I don't know. Still directly ahead of him, though. You've got Suti and Rama Maulana taking chunks out of each other, trying to battle for what is now 8th position side by side through Varstina, and that is Zoltan Suti just ahead in the background.
And as you can see, there's only 21 drivers on the server right now, so it was not only the broadcast that had a small issue, we also lost Ben Spanky. Second place in the championship last year, he's out of the race. He can rejoin for the 2nd race, but it's still a big disappointment, of course, for him. No points in this 1st race.
Thankfully, as much as there is 100 points of victory, it's a big points for victory in this race. With the whole fact that there's points in the qualifying, there's points in the pre-qualifier, it's not the biggest deal missing 1 or 2 races of the season. You can still bounce back. You can see in the background there, you've got Roman Maulana again trying to fight Suti at the top end of the field. We've still got Pinches and Fiducci leading Keithley, Antonov and Lerner. Roman Maulana going to go around the outside. A little touch of contact between the two, and now trying to get involved in this is Leandro Verla, trying to force his way back through. Tim Yarshall a part of this as well. There's definite forceful contact there between Andika, Rama Maulana on the back of Zoltan Suti, an attempted dive bomb. Look at that taking advantage. Tim Yarshall is going to try and get himself up into the top 10. A little bit of a rubbing. Oh, but more contact there between himself and Rama Maulana. That is Tim Yarshall gained a position up into 10th. He's going to have to look down the inside. You've got Barner now getting by Verla in the background of this. We lose them behind the trees just momentarily, and Tim Yarshall's going to dive straight down the inside. There's going to be a touch of contact. Oh, that was a little bit naughty from Tim Yarshall. Really didn't have any sort of overlap there. It's going to cost them both time on the run down towards the Dunlop hairpin, and now Martin Barner is going to try and force his way through. No, he doesn't. Late on the brakes, late enough for Andika Rama Maulana. Tim Yarshall pushing him up to the high side of the road. Still advantage Andika Rama Maulana, and whilst this is going, Zoltan Suti has run away.
Yeah, Suti is gapping them, trying to catch up to his teammate David Notch. Quite aggressive driving from Tim Yarshall.
Very much so. The young German trying to force his way back up the order. Of course, we don't have that top 10 reverse grid, as I said in the previous one. Like we said in the previous season, we had a top 10 reverse grid. This time we don't. We have another qualifying session to set that grid, so there's no point in hanging around in the 10th place hoping for a race 2 victory. We've got a bit of side by side as Emery Chihan was defending from Juan Manuel Gomez directly behind this, and Leandro Verla is dropping back and back and back in this race. It's not going very well at the moment after that issue, slowdown, whatever it was, technical fault. Leandro Verla has dropped plenty of positions, and now only 14th. Emery Chihan, though, has had some impressive drives in RaceRoom recently. Look at this in the foreground, though. Oh, Tim Yarshall's going to go down the inside. That surely is the move done on Andika Rama Maulana. A little bit of contact from Barner, though, as well, when Tim Yarshall moves up into 9th place. That was a nice move.
This time it worked cleanly. Let's see if Maulana can come back here. Infield section, getting very close. Not so easy for these two to race with each other, as they're pretty much on opposite sides of the world.
One thing that we don't have to worry about in real motorsport when it comes to a super international event is netcode, which no matter how strong the netcode is in the game, Vinny Oliveira trying to gain 15th position on UHash at the moment, trying to work his way up the order. yeah, when it comes to ping and stuff, your netcode in the game, which is effectively how you are when it comes to your latency and stuff, and warping and moving around on the circuit, it can be very, very difficult to race with people when you're on the other side of the planet. Nevertheless, you can see on the screen at the moment, it seems to be all right. No real issues with that, and everyone looks like they are basically just piloting the same circuit in Germany, which is exactly what we wish. Kirill Antonov then now applying pressure. That is not something that I thought I was going to say coming into this broadcast, Rob. Kirill Antonov applying pressure to the back of Jack Keithley. Wow. Big stuff.
And Antonov is a fairly aggressive driver himself, so I don't think he will shy away from making an overtaking attempt against Jack. Jack might have about 40 victories on RaceRoom, and Antonov has won in an international race, got quite a few in the Russian championships as well. But still, I think Keithley has to watch out here.
Yeah, Keithley the lone Brit, Antonov the lone Russian on the grid.
I think there's Bo Dixon in the
there's
race.
Bo Dixon, touche, there is Bo Dixon, my apologies. Bo Dixon is indeed down in 19th position. Curious to see how he'll do across the season as well, because he showed some strong runnings in the latter part of 2019. I distinctly remember a good run from him in Spa. Was very much a part of the top 10 battle, which was basically a train for the victory. That race was incredible. Go check it out. Maybe not so strong. He didn't do very well in the British RaceRoom Championship. No disrespect to him. He did the first round of it. It was only a 3-round championship. Didn't qualify for either of the other two in the top split. But nevertheless, maybe coming to a car that he likes. He drove the CUPRA in that as well. But of course, like you said before, it was the 2019 CUPRA for Pinchers. And the same for Bo Dixon. The top 5, definitely a train. Florian Haase not able to really keep pace with the top 5.
And I think what's interesting is that this car has a very distinct handling compared to the old CUPRA. It's much more stable. It's got a different wheelbase, got slightly different physics, updated of course. And it's just very, very stable. You don't get this trademark lift of oversteer that you get in a lot of front-wheel drive cars on this car at all. So it favors a slightly different driving style. We've seen drivers having a hard time adapting to it, while for others it just comes as natural. Antonov was fast on the qualifier already. Seems to suit him very much. Pinchers was one who was struggling a bit in the beginning, but he seems to have found out how it works.
Sounds a bit more like a front-wheel drive that works for me. I don't really like an oversteering front-wheel drive. I struggle with it. I don't know how. I'm pretty sure you'll like an oversteering one, Rob.
Yeah, for me it's also, when I tested the car, for me it's very difficult to set these lap times that the top drivers here do. Of course, because they're the best in the world, but also because this car is very, very stable and planted, and it just means that you have to be precise when you turn in. It's kind of easy to drive in a way, but you also have to be precise. So, interesting car for sure. You can try it out for free on RaceRoom, because the competition is running currently for the second track for Imola. And I think we might see an attack from either Keithley or Antonov here.
Ooh, a little bit of a rub there from Antonov. He was thinking about it, and yeah, if you want to take part in this kind of racing, go and do it. Get yourself into the top 24. Believe me, it'll be worth it. It'll be a great evening's racing to take part with some of these guys at the top end of sim racing. A little bit of contact there between Antonov on the back of Keithley again. Thankfully, he doesn't have to watch out for his front bumper falling off. Whilst this lot are all sitting in the train, I see Florian Haase and David Noj in the background aren't fighting each other, and basically are almost working together in a sense to try and catch this train for the top lot. 11.5 minutes to go in the opening race of the season. That should be about 5 laps. 5 and a bit. I'm going to say 6. 5.5 from now. Laps to go in this race. David Noj eyeing up another victory here at the Nürburgring, maybe?
I think it's unlikely that it will happen in this race, because I can't see all of the top 5 crashing. But I could definitely see an attack from Fiduci against Pinchers.
Pinchers is, as much as he's maybe not won quite as many races as the likes of Jack Keithley in RaceRoom, one very, very talented driver, one very well experienced driver, be it in touring cars or anything really. He's really spread himself out across sim racing, not just on one sim, just all over the place. I've seen his name in countless places across sim racing. He knows how to defend and he knows how to grab a victory. And so now sitting there at the top of the field, having signed recently for AAA Esports, a team. Whoa, there comes a dive bomb from Jack Keithley. That was what we were expecting. Didn't work, though.
Almost hit the inside pit wall there. It was a risky attempt. Fiducci closed the door. Maybe closed it when Keithley was already alongside him, and that bunched up the fight for the top 5 here. Lerner now has a chance to get past Antonov.
He's going to surely give it a go. Big dive bomb. There comes Jack Keithley as well down the inside. There's further contact between the two. That was really like a late dive from the Williams Esports drivers, as both of them are trying to get through. They're both going to lose out, though. Kirill Antonov is going to try and get up into second position. He's definitely going to try and make a move on Jack Keithley, getting a little bit of a push there from Moritz Lerner. And look at that. Oh, there's going to be contact between himself and Jack Keithley on the exit of the arena section. We've got Florian Haase and David Noj, who are very much a part of this train now, side by side towards the Ford curve. And Gianmarco Fiducci currently in second position. And Jack Keithley there does hold third position. Is Antonov going to lose fourth? I think he may well do so, as Moritz Lerner is going to have the inside, but no. Moritz Lerner drops back in. He's going to have the inside for Dunlop. Maybe going to look for a dive bomb. Not really close enough alongside. Top 7 will now be a train, Rob.
A train indeed, and maybe David Notch can win this race still. Because it's getting more tight here, but on the other hand, Adam Pincher's got a nice lead over 1 second now. Nice lead over Gianmarco Fiducci.
With the slipstream, though, you'd assume that Gianmarco Fiducci might be able to close in onto the back of the Hungarian, leading the way. We've got 4 Hungarians in the top 10. Of course, in RaceRoom, they have been very, very strong recently. Of course, with the championship that's been running for them, it's gone pretty much viral over there with the amount of people that have taken part in it. And so there's no real surprise to see such a large move from the Hungarians. And here is one, up and over the curbs at NGK, as David Noj was trying to force his way by the German of Florian Haase. Doesn't really have to worry too much about Zoltan Schutte behind, as it is a fair margin back. But that can disappear quickly. Looking for fourth position, Kirill Antonov. Maybe a dive bomb, not really close enough on Jack Keithley, and you really do have to wake up early to catch Jack Keithley out. A little bit of contact on the rear end. Furthermore contact. Is Moritz Lerner going to try and dive down the inside? No, he doesn't, as that gets covered off by Kirill Antonov. My goodness, with Jack Keithley and Kirill Antonov, 2 very, very aggressive drivers in the top end of RaceRoom. I'm concerned.
There's a small advantage for Keithley, and that is that Moritz Lerner is his teammate. And he can put some pressure on Antonov. So Antonov can't really focus on Keithley that much at the moment. Keithley himself will probably want to get by Gianmarco Fiducci, though.
It depends on whether Moritz Lerner would be driving in that sense effectively for Jack Keithley. Oh, down the inside, Tim Yarshall, who's dropped back a little bit. That was a great move on Juan Manuel Gomez. I did not expect a lunge into that one. Not really my favourite move, but very, very nice one there. And back up towards the front, we've got Noj and Florian Haase. So Noj is by Florian Haase, the 2019 Nürburgring Race 2 winner. Up into 6th place now, setting the sights on the top 5 position in the opening race of Season 2 here in 2020. And a little bit run wide though. Gonna have to defend it down the inside of Varsteiner. I think he should have that one covered off and pick the slipstream back up to the 5 ahead. Nice cut back though for Florian Haase, not really there to take advantage of it. 6.5 minutes to go at the end of this one, which means there should be 3 laps left of this race. Defending down the inside, David Noj, maybe pushing Florian Haase onto the grass a little bit. Beautiful cutback from Florian Haase, not quite enough to get alongside. You can see the gap dissipating bit by bit between Fiducci and Adam Pinches at the top of the field. Are we going to see a last lap battle for the race lead, as we've seen on so many occasions across the previous season of the CUPRA SimRacing Series? It's what makes it such an enthralling championship to be a part of. I get this vibe, I get this feeling. I think we might have it. Who's dropped out? Jack Keithley. Jack Keithley's gone.
Disconnect for Keithley as well. That's tough.
That's another one, because we saw that for a bit of reference on that, he disconnected from the
VIP race.
VIP race. He also disconnected from the second round of the British RaceRoom Championship after being victorious in the first race. From the second race there was disconnected at Brands Hatch. So clear some issues on the other side of Jack Keithley, and that's another decent position cost for the Englishman. So now there is only one Englishman, that's Bo Dixon. Terrible shame for Jack Keithley. Doesn't spoil us a quality battle at the top end. Pinches, Fiducci, Antonov and Lerner at the top four, and a little bit further behind. They did catch up, but then they split apart. David Noj in the top five, and Florian Haase directly behind that. That does promote Tim Yarshall into the top 10 once again, courtesy of the disconnect from Jack Keithley. We're down to just 20 cars here in the opening race for the CUPRA SimRacing Series, and Adam Pinches is heading that field. 2 laps to go at the end of this. A lot of pressure, a mountain of pressure, as Fiducci is determined to grab back what he feels was earned so well in that qualifying session after a quality pole position. Maybe Pinches is feeling that he wants to be the thief this time around.
Things still quite calm here. They've got a couple of laps left. Let's see with Yarshall. He's quite close to Martin Barner.
Going to take to the outside of NGK. Doesn't fancy it. Maybe going to go for a cutback here on the run down towards the final corner, the final hairpin. Not really there. Barner's going to hold the central point of the road. Tim Yarshall sees that there's no move there to be done. That might push Barner out wide. Is he going to drift off of the white line? I think he may well do, and I think he might be under attack coming down and towards the first corner for the penultimate lap of proceedings. Tim Yarshall's going to have to go to the outside, back to the inside, back to the outside maybe. Going to hold it down the inside. Oh, there's no real room there. He is still going to try and lunge it. And Barner opens the door a little bit. And that is Tim Yarshall through. That was a quality move. That was a proper touring car one. I wouldn't say that was too aggressive at all. Very, very nice stuff from the Euronics gaming driver.
It certainly wasn't too aggressive, because Barner was changing lines quite a bit too often, I think. And then he couldn't change back to the inside to defend and just left the gap to Yarshall. Just took it up to P9.
Very nice. Very, very nice. And yeah, he can set his sights on Rowan Morlana, but I don't think there's going to be much having there, as he's a fair way down the road. Battle for the lead. Adam Pinches has a decent gap from Fiducci, but Kirill Antonov, what an impressive turn of form. Who would have predicted the top 3 that we have now? Pinches, Fiducci and Antonov coming into this season. I certainly wouldn't have done, and they are all doing a very, very credible job, like we've said before, with Antonov's pre-round pace looking very, very strong indeed. And yeah, wow, what a turn of form. Really working with this car. Got to watch out for the Williams driver behind of Moritz Lerner. Going to be a tough battle for him. There's going to be a lot of pressure, a lot of sweaty hands for the young Russian, as he's going to be determined to hang on to an opening podium of the season. Listen to them as they fling it over the curbs. Be right on board with Moritz Lerner, eyeing up a move on the Russian. Nothing into the hairpin for the final for the second to last time. One more lap then at Nürburgring for the opening race of the season. Pinches, Fiducci, Antonov and Lerner. Realistically, the battle for the victory. Noj is a little bit too far behind, but he might be under attack from Florian Haase. That's the white car in the background with the black car going to the outside. It's one corner again survived from Pinches. Florian Haase is down the inside. There is going to be a touch of contact, I think, between himself and David Noj as they head through the arena section. Noj on the inside in the white fronted car. Florian Haase not able to do anything. Goes way over the concrete runoff. And sixth position is where he is going to stay. Still a strong result to start the season in the 05 car. Directly behind Noj, top end of the field. Nothing happening for Moritz Lerner yet, Rob.
What's something happening here?
Timing. He thought about it, didn't he?
Certainly did. Oh, and Fiducci has caught Pinches. Fiducci will have a slipstream on the back straight on the last lap. Fiducci has, I think he has outbraked himself there in the hairpin. Lost a lot of the gap again.
Tough margin. I think think he might be a little bit too far back to try anything. Nevertheless, with a few corners to go, maybe he applies the pressure. Maybe Adam Pinches makes a mistake. Note how Adam Pinches doesn't use the tarmac on the turn into the left-hander there. Oh, look at this. Down the inside from Moritz Lerner, trying to steal the podium away from Kirill Antonov. A touch of contact between the two of them through Varstina as they head onto the back straight for the final time of the first race of the season. Moritz Lerner wasn't able to do it. Is there going to be a lunge into the NGK? He's trying to look. Maybe goes back to the outside. Kirill Antonov is going to hang on at least for now. One more corner to go after this. Can Lerner bang his way onto the podium? I don't think so. He's going to surely look. He's going to try. No, he is not. Kirill Antonov, though, is going to try and take Fiducci. Doesn't try. That might have been a bit too eager from himself. Out of the final corner, though, Adam Pinches. Who'd have thought it? AAA Esports' latest signing. And Pinches takes the top step of the podium for the opening round of 2020. What a drive. Fantastic stuff from himself. Fantastic from Fiducci. And great stuff from Kirill Antonov, rounding out the most unsuspected podium to open the season. Crazy stuff. Moritz Lerner is going to be in fourth position. Oh, it's been a bit changed on there, Rob. What's happened?
Yeah, what happened to Fiducci? What happened to Fiducci? That's another mystery we have to clear up. Antonov showing up in second place, Lerner in third, but where is Fiducci? He's not showing up in the results at the moment.
Maybe something that we'll have to look into post-event, because as he can't have received a penalty that got him disqualified. Not that bad, but nevertheless, a quality drive from Fiducci. I'm very, very impressed with Kirill Antonov. Did a stunning drive. There is only 21 drivers on that list, Rob, so we'll have to wait and see if we can find out what happened to Gianmarco Fiducci, taking the opening pole position of the season and 20 points for it, and then finishing the race in second place. Obviously, I'm sure the game's had other ideas of it as we prepare ourselves for the next session, where we're going to do another qualifying and then another sprint race. The qualifying session this time, though, is shorter. It's a 5-minute session. It's closed. It's closed. So it's private. That's what I mean. I got there eventually. So a private session. So they have the track to themselves. They can do whatever they want on the circuit and just poodle around to their heart's content. But they do only have 5 minutes, which does mean they will only get one lap. We are already in that session and we're already pretty much ready to go, Rob.
Yes, all the drivers can load in now. Fiducci is on the server. Monkey has just rejoined. Don't see Keithley yet. They've got a little bit of time here. Find their way back onto the server. Dixon has just joined. 21 drivers here. Still missing Keithley, of course.
Is Ben Spanky on the server? Yes, he is. Okay, we're okay. So we've got Ben Spanky, who obviously as well was tragically disconnected from the previous race when we were. Nevertheless, he is here to at least take part in qualifying 2 and round 2 of the season. A much shorter qualifying session, though, this time, as we're about to move into it. Like you say, only one lap. That is all they get, realistically. They have to do the out lap, and then they get the time lap. But they have to do the out lap, right? Or do they?
No, they don't have to do the
out
out lap.
Never mind then. They get 2. Never mind. I know what I'm talking about. Here we go then. Qualifying for the second race of the season. We look at Kirill Antonov after a fantastic podium. Can he build on that? Can he take a victory? A lot of people have been talking about the potential of the young Russian to take the pole position, to take a victory potentially at some point throughout this afternoon. If not, you'd suggest the pace is there for a potential race win this season, at least, surely.
All drivers have to check for themselves right now. And that's why you don't see the other cars. Just 5 minutes here in the qualifying session. Some extra points to gain. Antonov, after his first podium, was it the second or third place? I'm pretty sure it was the third place. Because Fiducci drove the entire race, so he will be counted in the results for sure.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those glitchy things. Maybe Fiducci left the game too early, and I don't know, because normally it doesn't affect that, but I don't know, maybe it's just come up like that. Either way, that second position should count, and so it was third place for Kirill Antonov. and Maritz Lerner missed out on the podium by 1 position. Can Kirill Antonov go a couple of positions better through the first sector? Ignore the fact that it's purple, because obviously it's the first one, as the entire grid will be setting their lap times now. So once we reach the end of this lap, the timesheet on the left-hand side will just instantly go and just fill up. So prepare yourself. We'll find out who's on provisional pole once we get around to it. Heading up towards the back straight now through the left-hander. I was very curious because I know this. I've known this for a long time that a lot of people use the stuff on the right-hand side for the turn in towards the left-hander there. Adam Pinches across that race didn't use it, which I thought was very intriguing, Rob.
Yeah, there's a bit less grip on the surface, and he probably feels that that it hurts him, makes him slower when he uses it. 5.0 was the pole time, if I'm not mistaken, in the first race by Fiducci.
Yeah.
See what Antonov can do.
It was a 5.035 if memory serves me right. Out of the final corner then, and towards the line, Kirill Antonov will be the guy that we'll see across the line for the first time, and the timesheet will appear. Now, it's a 2:05.253 for Tim Yarshall to open the session. Kirill Antonov slightly off of that. Florian Haase only 2,000ths behind Juan Manuel Gomez in 4th position. Barner, there we go. Everything's chopping and changing. Jack Keithley is on the server as he goes up to provisional pole on a 2:10. Adam Pinches, the race winner, goes to 3rd, and he will... it's going to be tight for him to start another lap. Emery Chihan on his only lap of the session, because he's already 2 minutes down.
Yeah, some drivers opting here to go for fresh tires, some drivers just opting for 1 hot lap, and some drivers for 2 continuous hot laps. You lose a bit of tire life for the 2nd lap. So it is understandable that you want to go back to the pits, but nonetheless, a bit surprising to see Chihan here on a different strategy, but it means we can show some different cars. Also got a positive, not just on the purple sector at the moment. So is Banky. Let's see with Chihan first, because this is also a very good lap.
Yeah, very good. Would put him into the top 6 out of the final corner and towards the line. He is going to go to 6th place. Very nice work. 0.138 off of the pole time. Very nice first sector. Very nice 2nd sector from the pole sitter last year, 2019. That qualifying session, the opening one of the season, went to this man, David Noj. And then the 2nd race victory of the season went to him as well. I'm sure he won't make the same mistake into T1 as he did in 2019 towards the line. I keep wanting to say 12 months ago, even though it definitely wasn't. It was slightly less than. Up to P6 only. Less than a 10th off a pole, though.
A little bit disappointing there. Antonov with a very good first sector. It's the fastest one we've seen so far. Fiducci also on the purple lap. Gomez on the purple lap. So is Hasse, so is Banky. Berle as well, Löhner as well, and I think Stulic as well. So the first sector from Keithley probably not that good.
What I'd say is important to note here is that Kirill Antonov went out straight away in the session. Bent Banky onto pole position, 2:05.192. What a stunner. That is him up onto the provisional pole, at least for now. We head back to Kirill Antonov, who's still 5,000ths up, coming across the 2nd sector. Could it be enough to grab himself a pole position and go a couple of positions higher than the previous race? He is just about timed it. Ignore the fact that this has come up with the session is not technically over. There's still a few seconds left. We'll see as he comes out of the corner. Currently, Kirill Antonov is in 6th place. Is he going to go up onto provisional pole? Oh, yes, he does. Yes, he does. Kirill Antonov, Florian Haase moves up onto the front row. What a stunner of a lap from Kirill Antonov. Wow.
Great performance there. And I think it was already showing in the first race. Maybe now it's the time to get his first victory here. We will be right back in just a moment.
What an incredible performance it was from Kirill Antonov in the previous session, where he got pole position. Obviously, the previous race, a podium as well, starting from the front row of the grid. Florian Haase alongside him. That pole position from Fiducci last time was very good into T1. Is it going to have the same fate for Kirill Antonov? The lights are on ahead of them, and we are underway for the second race of the CUPRA SimRacing Series 2020. The run down towards the first corner of the Nürburgring, going to be pretty treacherous on the inside, but it is the whole shot for Kirill Antonov. A bit of side-by-side in the background as Ben Spanky's moved himself up into second position. He's going to be diving down the inside. Kirill Antonov nicely through the corner, maybe a little bit overshot. He'll be looking a bit further back in the order. Tim Yarshall's gone a bit side-by-side, a bit wide through the first corner, dropping a few positions. Jack Keithley and Pinches ahead, side-by-side with this. Florian Haase and Moritz Lerner going a bit side-by-side. It is crazy into the exit of the arena section. There is carnage here as Tim Yarshall's now going side-by-side. I think that's with Adam Pinches, the previous race winner, who's down to 7th position. Behind this, we've got Naj and Fiducci, who are going side-by-side. That's Fiducci taking advantage of this in the black and white car. Head of the field, though, Kirill Antonov. Fantastic work. Ben Spanky doing a good job to at least jump Florian Haase on the start. Moritz Lerner was pretty aggressive there, just ahead of his teammate, Jack Keithley.
Yeah, it's a good start from Antonov. Spanky and Haase behind him. That's more of the usual suspects here.
Certainly is. Good to see Ben Spanky up towards the top end of the field. And of course, like you say, usual suspects, Spanky, Haase, Lerner, Keithley, Yarshall. Very much accustomed to the top end of a RaceRoom field. And here at the CUPRA SimRacing Series, they're finding their home towards the top end. But joining them, the likes of Antonov, the likes of Pinches and Fiducci. Noj, maybe not quite as strong as he was a few months ago. 10, I'd say 9, maybe months ago, when we raced here previously. And nevertheless, he's still doing pretty well to hang on into the top 10. Of course, we said 8,000 qualifiers to try and get into this event. And the top 22 here, all fighting out for the second victory of the season. Ben Spanky is known now to win a few races, won a couple last season across the curb. Bo Dixon's doing a lot better in this race than he was in the previous one, trying to get a top 10 position from Emery Chihan in the red car. Look at the gaggle behind, my goodness me. You've got Juhas, Roman Molana, Hogfeld. Hogfeld, those up to 20th position. You've got Oliveira and Verla directly behind as those two switch positions. I think that might be Lucas Verla who's at the back. It's hard because they both start with L, being twins. Diving down the inside though, Hogfeld though going to try and make a position on dirt. Oh, Rama Molana, yes. I thought he was going straight on there. There's going to be a bit of three-wide action here between Juhas and Stulic is the one that he's just rubbing there. The black and white car. And Dika Rama Molana up to 16th position with an aggressive dive bomb. A lot of smoke up ahead of this. Now cutting off Slaven Stulic, who we know is aggressive himself. A bit further contact and Stulic back up into 16th. Super aggressive stuff towards the back end. Points are on offer for all of these positions, so it is important to gain as many as you can throughout the championship. Of course, that's how it goes. Oh, Rama Molana tries to cut off a little bit there of Christian Juhas. That was tight.
That was close indeed. And gets even closer at the front now. Well, just got a little bit gaps again here after the hairpin, but it was very tight there. Lerner was closing in on Haase. And you can see Keithley and Tim Yarshall as well. Not getting gapped at the moment. Pinches down to P7, winner of the first race.
Yeah, not quite as a strong run for the Hungarian of Adam Pinches, but I'm sure he's elated with the victory regardless. He's the one, the black car, top of your screen, just slightly off the top 6 there. Got a little bit of a world of his own. Fiducci directly behind, of course. The rubber finished second to in the previous race, so those two dropping down the order comparatively to their previous race session. And Florian Haase, we stare at now, trying to find a way through. And Spanky. We ride on board now with Tim Yarshall at the back end of this of the sextet, and Kirill Antonov will come across the lead at the second lap. Strong at the front, consistent at the front. We'll see if Kirill Antonov can hold the pace that he's currently set over the previous 2 laps. Bit of a defensive move there from Jack Keithley as Tim Yarshall's going to try and go to the outside, maybe trying to hang it around the first corner. Touch of contact, but nothing major. Oh, he was thinking about it. 2 aggressive drivers as well. These two have raced against each other quite a lot. Tim Marshall, the young German, against Jack Keithley, the 28-year-old Brit. Keithley's done a lot of sim racing over his time, and Adam Pinchez is now very much a part of the top 6, now making it a top 7.
Yeah, Pinchez has closed the gap here, just from this one defensive move from Keithley.
Oh, I thought Pinchez was going for it. I thought he was absolutely about to dive it down the inside there. Didn't fancy it, thought better of it. Stays in line, and the more that he does that, the more that Fiducci, the more that Noj, the more that Sheehan will be rubbing their hands with glee, as they will be closing in on this and make this train longer and longer and longer. Only 5 minutes completed, and it is still Antonov leading, but for how much longer is Bence Banke going to wait there patiently? Up and over the curbs at the Schumacher S. Anything going here? No. Still holding line astern. If I was Bence Banke, I'm kind of happy at the moment. Florian Haase, not the most aggressive driver, and I don't mean that as like a dig or anything. I really respect Florian Haase's racecraft because he can make a move when he needs to, but definitely one that's a bit more patient when it comes to the move. Of course, you can see that at the bottom of your screen. The first ever CUPRA SimRacing Series victory went to the man that's currently running in 2nd position, Bence Banke, victorious in the first race here at this circuit, the first race of the season. I think he qualified 2nd position, and then a mistake from David Noj into T1 allowed Bence Banke to take the lead, and really didn't look back. Now got to try and get by Kirill Antonov if he wants to get another victory in the CUPRA SimRacing Series. I believe Bence Banke took 2 over the course of the 2019 season. Now diving down the inside, it was at least 1, obviously.
Definitely one in Hockenheim.
He did indeed. It was 2. Yeah, you're right. Because he didn't win, because it was Dorneden who won, and then Gergo who won in Monza, if I remember correctly.
By the way, he was 2nd in the championship. That's why he has the car with the number 2 on the side and also on the window. In 2nd position once again in the race for Bence Banke. This time against Antonov. I don't think they've really fought against each other so often. It will be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how it unfolds for them. It is always an interesting experience battling with people you've not battled with before, because you don't know what to expect. I'm sure though Bence Banke's raced against a lot of names in his time, and so I don't think he'll be looking at it thinking, I don't know what to expect from this guy. Look at the train though. Look at everything behind this. We've got Antonov, Banke, Haase, Lerner, Keithley, Yarshall, Pinchez, Noj, Fiducci and Sheehan, the top 10, and not far off the back of that, we've still got Bo Dixon and the first of the Verla twins, and Juan Manuel Gomez, who's not really had the pace that we would have expected coming into this. Of course, topped practice prior to qualifying and was looking incredibly strong. Unfortunately, only 14th at the moment in the second race here. Beautiful helicopter shots as they head up towards NGK chicane. Once again, a little bit defensive from Kirill Antonov now. He's sensing danger as maybe Bence Banke is starting to mount some pressure, but through that he's dropped back into the clutches of Florian Haase. No way to stick it around the outside of the final corner though, too much speed on the inside, and that is Bence Banke just going to hang on at least for now. The more that he sits there, the more patient he's going to have to be. Here comes Florian Haase down to the inside. There's a bit of an overlap there. Is Bence Banke going to try and move across? Back over to the outside goes Florian Haase, going to be committed on the brakes, going to try and make it around the outside of T1. The preferred line goes the way of Bence Banke, and the position hold with it. Oh, a little bit of contact between the teammates there as well behind us. Jack Keithley was staring down the inside of Moritz Lerner. Moritz Lerner just maybe trying to go around the outside. A bit more contact between the two, defending a little bit from his teammate Jack Keithley. Those two have done some racing in their past. Together, maybe with a little bit more contact. Like I said, they get along as teammates though, at least as far as I'm aware. They've been teammates for a long time, so they surely should do.
Okay, and now you have to explain me the sandwich logic once again, because we've got two Euronics gaming cars on the outside and two Williams cars on the inside. So what kind of sandwich is it?
It's a Williams sandwich with Euronics bread. I respect though. I respect that you didn't instantly jump to it being a Williams sandwich though, because sorry, a Euronics sandwich. Because yeah, no thanks. I appreciate that. I get really uppity on that. You don't name a sandwich after the bread, do you? white bread sandwich with ham filling. You don't say that because it's a ham sandwich. Anyway, I appreciate you remember that though. Zoltan Ciuti though, 14th position at the moment. One of our camera cars, defending from Juan Mal Gomez. Gotten by recently.
Yeah, he got a very bad qualifying. That was not really representative of his pace here in the race. Up to P14, but it's not quite the season start that he hoped for.
Ciuti was one of the drivers that was around when I started commentating years ago. So I quite like commentating on Zoltan Ciuti because it's kind of like, it just reminds me going back to like 2013, 2012. Commentating on open wheelers and stuff on R Factor 1 a long time ago. So we've all come very far in that time.
Jack Keithley, also one of the guys who was already around like 10 years ago. One of the most experienced drivers on the grid. Currently in P5 and probably praying that this internet host...
Oh, bit of a dive down the inside there. Almost a little bit of a push, I think, from Tim Yarshall directly behind as well. Nearly made the move stick on his teammate, but Tim Yarshall, I think, gave a little bit of a boff. The back of the Brit now diving down the inside of the arena. Bit of contact between the two. That's going to push Keithley wide. Trying to take advantage of all of this is ex-Williams Jim Esports driver Adam Pinches. He's going to get both of them. What a move! What a well-timed move from AAA Esports. Adam Pinches saw those two taking lumps out of each other and thought, I'll go for a cutback and I'll take both of you. Thank you very much. That'll get your heart racing up to P5, the race winner. What a move.
Yeah, Keithley and Yarshall just getting too aggressive with each other there, costing them both positions. Notch also past Keithley now, up to P7.
Yeah, nice stuff. Nice stuff. Very well done. Jack Keithley dropping back a few positions then, and maybe trying to get some back straight away, or at least defending rather, from Fiducci, who's the white and black car directly behind this. We've got Emery Chihan as well in the red car, or diving down the inside. Is he going to try and commit to that? No, he doesn't, and backs out. So the move is at least held from Fiducci, podium sitter in the previous race. Not quite the lofty heights of race 1, but still a P9 is a very solid result. Moritz Lerner, the two Germans, going to go battling on home soil. Lerner, Haase, battle for the podium. Lerner surely isn't going to accept being removed from the podium by one position. He's not going to come one position short again, is he?
No sandwich left anymore.
No.
So Lerner has to do it on his own.
Obviously, like me and you have both had the experience of racing at the top end of the season for a championship or whatever, with a teammate in tow, a teammate helping you out. It does help. Actually, I don't know if any of your teammates helped out, or if you just battling for the championship. We've got Pinches though, trying to hold off fellow Hungarian David. No, was it Tim Yarshall?
That's Tim Yarshall in the blue car.
It was Tim Yarshall, yeah.
Not just behind them. Yarshall has been quite aggressive in this race. I think he's going again.
He is indeed. Bit of contact between the two. Oh, the double move from Pinches already cost him there. That position, Tim Yarshall's already back through with a fairly aggressive move. So now it is the two Hungarians that will battle for P6, and Tim Yarshall up into to P5. Pinches not really satisfied with that. Was looking down the inside. A little bit of rub from fellow compatriot David Noj, and Noj going to go for a cutback on the run towards the Dunlop hairpin. That is a beautiful cutback for David Noj. And gains the position. That was lovely. Very well timed. Very clean.
Great move from David Notch. Once again, he's in a position where he probably can't go for the race victory here. Especially as the field at the front is a little bit more spread out. Not the first two. Antonov just ahead of Banki. Banki has been waiting here. He's been driving very smart.
I think he's just waiting to gap the rest of the field, maybe a little bit more, maybe mount a challenge in the final few laps of the race. He's not really safe enough from the two Germans behind. I'd say the fifth place car of Tim Yarshall, unless something crazy happens between these lot, battling wise, I think might well, like you're right, I think it might just be a little bit out of it because it is a fair gap back to him. Kirill Antonov will survive the chicane once again. 10 minutes to go. That'll be 5 laps when we cross the line. 5 more times, 5 more circuits of here, the Nürburgring GP layout. survive. I think Lerner was trying to battle Haase in the background, trying to go to the outside, maybe got a cutback, and here we go indeed. It is the cutback for Moritz Lerner, trying to move up onto the podium. He's not got an overlap though, and Florian Haase should be able to hang on. To the outside goes Ben Spanky, to the outside goes Moritz Lerner. They're both side by side up towards the first corner. Ben Spanky's going to try and go all the way around the outside. Maybe a little bit of pressure there, headed towards the car of Kirill Antonov. And first place goes the way of Ben Spanky. Antonov instantly dives down the inside though. What a move. Fantastic stuff. The Russian back on top through the arena section. Nice move from Banky. Nicer move from Antonov. Good stuff from the Russian. Holding station, holding firm at the top of the field.
Yeah, I think Banky was waiting for such an opportunity. Antonov isn't even expecting anything. And it almost paid off, but Antonov with the aggression in the third corner immediately goes up the inside, and that was a cleaner move than the ones we've seen before between Yarshel and Keithley in this corner. Banky gives them a lot of room there, enough room so Antonov can get back past, but this race is far from over.
Very much so. Very much so, Rob. That was a quality move, I will say, from Ben Spanky, although I do think Kirill Antonov was maybe a little bit too hesitant, a little too patient on the inside, considering how we've seen most of the time people trying to attempt around the outside of T1. The inside line is normally the one that prevails, so maybe a little bit too hesitant for the Russian driver. Nevertheless, I'm sure he'll be expecting that one next time by, and we'll be a bit more observant of what Ben Spanky is doing, and also keep an eye on the trio of Germans behind, Haase, Lerner, and Tim Yarshel. Haase still managed to hang on for Moritz Lerner there. Ben Spanky slipstreaming his way up towards the NGK chicane once again. 4 more times they'll go through here before reaching the checkered flag. Touch of contact between Ben Spanky there on the rear end. Jack Keithley's got by previous teammate in the background of this, and they've switched again. Pinches is ahead, back into 7th position. Oh, bit of contact there as Emre Cihan's trying to gain his way up the order as well. So Emre Cihan battering his way by Jack Keithley. Keithley's not having a good run of it here, Rob.
No, he certainly isn't. We still have to watch the leaders though. Banky is doing the same thing again. And now he has to hurry up because Haase and Lerner have caught up. All this battling has cost them a lot of time. Keithley back past Cihan, also past Fiducci now.
Yeah, Antonov was wise at this time. Whoa, there's going to be contact here as Ben Spanky gets a little bit of a rub. That wasn't too bad. I thought there was going to be a spearing off the circuit there from Florian Haase on Ben Spanky. Maybe just slamming the brakes a little bit too hard, and Ben Spanky just rubbing the side. Florian Haase and Ben Spanky just allowed a little bit of breathing room for Kirill Antonov, that touch of contact. The top 4 very close. Coming down towards Dunlop once again. Kirill Antonov leading, but not by much. Ben Spanky behind, and the pressure cooker of Lerner and Florian Haase really is cooking now with Tim Yarshel. That's one that they probably don't want to catch, because Tim Yarshel is an aggressive driver and he will take advantage of any opportunity. You give him an inch, he'll take a mile. That kind of lark. Quality driver is Tim Yarshel. Definitely one for the future of RaceRoom competition.
Tim Yarshel won his first championship this year on RaceRoom, the German RaceRoom Championship. Quite a dominant fashion. But he's a little bit faster in rear-wheel drive cars. Front-wheel drive not quite his cup of tea. He's got a few good results already, but still doesn't quite have the edge here. And Banky on the other hand, for example, that's a guy who's probably a bit quicker in front-wheel drive. 2018 Esports WTCR World Champion and 2nd place last year in the CUPRA SimRacing Series.
Yeah, as much as he had that 2nd place in the CUPRA SimRacing Series last year, didn't really have the strongest run in WTCR Esports that season, or he's not really been super duper strong in racing recently. It's nice to see a bounce back in form and that moving towards the front. I think he's been very busy elsewhere, and it is great to see him at the back of the top end of the field. A dive down the inside this time on Kirill Antonov. Antonov's going to have to hang around the outside. I think he may well do so, as he's going to have the inside. Look at the side-by-side in the background there as Moritz Lerner and Florian Haase. Further contact between the two. Oh, a little bit too much contact there between Ben Spanky and Kirill Antonov. In the background of this, go on dive down the inside. No, he's not going to make that stick. Florian Haase has just managed to hang hang on to the podium. Tim Yarshall, very much a part of the top 5 now, trying to battle his way for victory. Kirill Antonov hangs on. Florian Haase hangs on. Tim Yarshall is there, and we have a train for the lead. Bence Banki is not waiting any longer in this race. He sees there's 5 minutes left on the clock. He sees that there is 3 laps left of this race, and he needs to get by Kirill Antonov ASAP to take his 3rd victory in the CUPRA SimRacing Series. Kirill Antonov trying to take his 1st and his 2nd consecutive podium here this evening. Moritz Lerner defending now from the German of Tim Yarshall, who is very much there. David Noj and Adam Pinches closing up to the back of this. It is tight stuff, and in the background of that you can see the train where Pinches is leading Keithley, Fiducci, Sheehan and Dixon. Rob, this is a lot to keep up with. Lerner's going to go to the inside. There's going to be an attempted move late on the brakes. The number 3 car, the 5 of Florian Haase, is going to hang it around the outside. Tim Yarshall's going to try and look down the inside, going into Fastine, and maybe a little bit of contact there between himself of Lerner and Haase. This is hard to keep up with. They're trying, but no one's changing position here, Rob. Shows how hard this is to overtake at.
Yeah, certainly difficult to overtake, but certainly possible as well. We've seen Banki, we've seen Antonov trade positions in this race. So it is possible. Just checking on Keithley here, side by side with Fiducci.
Oh, a little bit too much curb there on the inside. That was a very aggressive move, and I think Emery Sheehan's going to take advantage of this. Going to get by at least one of them. And maybe going to try and stick it around the outside. A little bit of contact from the back of Jack Keithley's car. Emery Sheehan up into 9th position. Fiducci down to 10th. Dixon trying to make it 2 Brits in the top 10. Defensive move from Kirill Antonov on the run down towards turn 1 for the penultimate time. And Bence Banki is going to try and stick it around the outside. Maybe going to go for a cut back here, and not really going to take advantage of that. And Kirill Antonov is going to live to breathe another day, at least for now. See how long that one lasts into the arena section.
He has to defend almost everywhere now.
Yeah.
And that really bunches up the whole pack here. It's a top 7 fight now. Pinches has caught up as well. This result, Antonov will take the championship lead.
Yeah, a 3rd place and a 1st place. Incredible way to kick off the season and to kick off proceedings. Kirill Antonov going to receive a little bit of Morse code on the rear end of his CUPRA Leon Competition from Bence Banki. Flashing of the headlights from Banki, trying to distract as much as he can from Kirill Antonov. Oh, thought about looking down the inside, thought about a cheeky lunge. You can see the train, you can see the pressure. You know that Kirill Antonov has got his mirrors up and he is keeping an eye on what's happening behind him, trying to deal with the pressure cooker that is there. You can see that one false move here, and he's not going to drop to 2nd, he's not going to drop to 3rd. He could drop all the way to 7th place with one mistake. The pressure is very, very high. Tim Yarshall trying to get his way up into the top 4 on Moritz Lerner. That's just allowed Florian Haase to pull away a little bit at the top end. At least for now, anyway. Is Tim Yarshall going to dive with the chain? You'd assume so, wouldn't you? He's either going to dive down the inside or going to try and fling it around the outside at the top end. It's still Kirill Antonov who's going to try and do the same thing. Defensive down the inside. Tim Yarshall not able to do anything. Defends from David Noj as well. And Adam Pinches, the top 7, very much in this train, very much a victory. Oh, that's a little bit of a dive there from Yarshall. Nearly clips the wall on the inside as well. One final lap then here to go in the CUPRA SimRacing Series Round 1 of 2020. The 2nd race, the first one going the way of Adam Pinches. The 2nd one, well, we'll have to wait and find out. Is there going to be a dive bomb from previous CUPRA SimRacing Series race winner Bence Banki? No, there is not. He's going to have to try and stick it around the outside. Moritz Lerner was also trying to do the same thing, and I think that's going to be David Noj maybe losing out to Adam Pinches in the background at the top end of the field, though. We've still got Kirill Antonov, who is literally defending into every corner he possibly can, as is Florian Haase in the background trying to hang on to a podium to open his account this season, and Kirill Antonov doing everything he can. What an impressive drive from the young Russian, defending once again. Bence Banki staring down the inside. The jaws of defeat are waiting there for Kirill Antonov. Oh, there's a bit more of a dive there. That's a bit more committed from Bence Banki. I don't think it's going to work out, but it was a decent attempt. He's going to try and stick down the inside on the run down towards Dunlop, but not quite there. Kirill Antonov is going to hang on to 1st position. Antonov, Banki, Haase, the podium at least for now. Only a few corners to go. No way. Whoa, what a mistake. What a time to make it. Too much pressure for Kirill Antonov. Is he going to be aggressive as he did in the previous time and get by though, Rob?
Not a lot of opportunities left, but he's very close to Bunky. That was just handed to Bunky there. What a mistake from Antonov. Is he going for the move here?
No, he is not. He was thinking about it. He was going to try it. Didn't decide to follow through. Bence Banky then heads the field looking for a second victory here at Nürburgring and the CUPRA SimRacing Series. But to do so, he is going to have to defend from the aggressive Russian of Kirill Antonov, who started the race in pole position, who's led every race, every lap of this race thus far. Kirill Antonov was trying to look down the inside, wasn't really spaced there. Going to try and go around the outside. There's contact between the two, and Bence Banky's going to be speared across the chicane. He's going to keep his foot in, though, and try and keep on top of this. Maybe gets a slowdown for that. He's going to try and take that going through the final corner, and Kirill Antonov is going to try and go around the outside. There's contact between the two, and further still, it is going to be Bence Banky, at least across the line, who's going to take victory in the second race of the season. Kirill Antonov, a well-fought second place, and Florian Haase hangs on from the Germans of Moritz Lerner, Tim Yarshall, and then the Hungarians of David Noj and Adam Pinches. Jack Keithley got up to 8th position, Emery Sheehan to 9th, and there is 2 Brits in the top 10 as Bo Dixon takes 10th place on the line. Bence Banky, there we have it then. Confirmation that he hangs on to that victory. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of an investigation into that post-race anyway, but wow, Rob, that was crazy.
Crazy end of the race. Antonov tried everything after the mistake. I think this was a little bit too much, and Banky deservedly takes the race win here. Antonov's second leader of the championship after the first round at the Nürburgring, and Florian Haase on the podium denies Moritz Lerner once again. Then Yarshall, Notch, Pinches, and Keithley, who at least manages to finish the race this time. Sheehan and Bo Dixon rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, David Noj, fastest lap of the race. Big stuff then for the opening round of the CUPRA SimRacing Series. Of course, we've got 13 rounds, 12 more, of course, to come throughout the course of 2020, taking us all the way to the end of the year. We've got some incredible tracks, incredible locations to bring to you over the course of the 2020 season, and hopefully with that, some incredible action. Of course, next round, Rob, it's an endurance round. It's 60 minutes, a pit stop included in that. Considering how it was last season, the races at Monza and Spa, that's going to be a tasty treat for all of us, surely.
Yes, indeed. Let's just have a short look at the calendar here while we still have time. There you can see it. Imola. Still quite some time to go, still quite some time to qualify as well. You could maybe race also in server 2, 3 or 4, which are running parallel at the same time. Or you can just have some fun trying out the CUPRA Leon competition for free on RaceRoom, and hopefully you will be back at the next race at Imola, either on the grid or as a spectator. That's it from our side. Thanks a lot for watching, and hope you tune in next time for the CUPRA SimRacing Series 2020.